On the late-night stage, Johnny Carson was renowned for his effortless charm, friendly smile, and witty banter. Behind-the-scenes visitors, however, taxed his patience and even earned a permanent place on his blacklist. In today's movie, we're going to delve thoroughly into these little-known stories of why Carson simply couldn't stand some people, and I promise you'll want to see it through to the very end to find out every surprising detail. Consider a man who, although he had resentment for some of them, regularly invited some of the biggest names in Hollywood, politics, and entertainment to his show. Johnny Carson was the one. Although his sense of humor and easygoing banter were well known, many people were not aware of his other side. One of the most talked-about feuds included a famous comedian whose routine appeared too prepared for Carson's taste. Carson was bored and annoyed by this visitor, since he never seemed to stray from his prepared remarks. According to Carson, spontaneity was the key to a lively conversation. Any hint of routine was like a light that quickly went out. If you enjoy learning more about the lesser-known sides of a legend, keep watching as we explore this unexpected confrontation that shocked the television business. There was also the story of a guest who had been Carson's close friend, and even mentor. He had previously shared the stage with this person, who was seen as having a lot of potential as a guest host. But when the chance to host a competing show came up, a feeling of betrayal hit. This act of treachery deeply angered Carson, who took great pride in upholding objectivity and sincerity. The consequences were immediate and severe. The formerly friendly relationship soured, and this guest was prohibited from appearing on the show ever again. This episode serves as a reminder that even the most charming and kind hosts have their moments of weakness. It illustrates the value of devotion and honesty, particularly in a world full with celebrities and bright lights. Another interesting part of this story is about a famous Las Vegas entertainer. This guest, famed for his theater appearances, was the object of Carson's biting sarcasm. Despite its target audience, Carson's humor, which is notorious for making jokes about the guest's masculinity, resonated. The growing animosity between them made the entertainer feel obliged to confront Carson directly. After that meeting, the performer rarely returned to the stage, and even a warning was given. Even in the midst of a front of applause and laughter, it is amazing to see that sincere disagreement and damaged feelings can arise. How many of us have kept quiet about our own feelings when someone we looked up to suddenly crossed the line? That is the question this narrative poses. Carson's portrayal of a popular character on children's television is the one that might surprise folks the most. Many of us remember this guest as the quiet, courteous, kind host of a popular children's show. However, Carson thought that this guest's slow and lazy speech was simply too dull for the busy world of late-night entertainment. In a scene that startled many viewers, Carson even went so far as to mock this guy during sketches, turning his image into a joke on national television. These interactions revealed a less forgiving and more critical side of Carson, even though they were meant to be entertaining. It is hard to imagine that a man with such charisma could treat someone he previously adored with such cruelty. All of these stories show that the world of late-night television was not always as friendly as it appeared from the sidelines. Carson was a person who appreciated reality and honesty. Any hint of arrogance, rudeness, or lack of genuine communication was unacceptable to him. It was not enough to be famous. A guest had to bring something new and interesting. When a guest didn't, Carson was quick to voice his frustration, sometimes simply by refusing to invite them back. This strict criterion helped to shape the dynamic and legendary stature of one of the most talked-about television programs in history. Lastly, the untold stories of Johnny Carson's animosities toward his guests offer us a rare glimpse into the world of late-night television, where every joke may have a hidden backstory and a glimmer of true passion. From fights with seasoned comedians to bitter betrayals by those he once trusted, Carson's journey was filled with incidents that shaped not only his career, but also our present perception of the entertainment industry. Watch this movie through to the end as we dissect every single scene and reveal details that have been kept under wraps for decades. This in-depth examination of the inner workings of one of the most well-known characters on television is something you won't want to miss a second of, I assure you.